Am I wrong for backing out of paying for my sister's wedding dress over a joke she made? I had an incident on my wedding day back in 2017 where my former fiance abandoned me and ran away with his pregnant mistress. That image, those details are forever engraved on my mind, and I'll never forget how I felt that day. That was truly a turning point in my life. My family has always been there for me, so I kept close to them. My younger sister is currently engaged and her wedding will be in a few months. She's struggling with money, so I decided to help her and her fiance and pay for the wedding dress. This allowed her to be able to buy her dream wedding gown that cost $7,000. It's a lot for a dress, but she literally cried because she wanted it. This happened a few days before we agreed to go buy the dress. We were eating dinner at my parents' house and my cousin and aunt were there. My aunt was asking my sister about the wedding and my sister said that everything was going according to plan and then casually laughed and said, "Let's just hope he won't run away with a pregnant mistress or something on our wedding day." I was blown away completely. She laughed and my aunt laughed too as if this was a joke. She was basically mocking what happened with me on my wedding. It happened so fast. I got up and started screaming at her, calling her an idiot, but my parents asked me to take it easy and said she thought it was a joke and didn't think I'd react so intensely. My aunt remained seated and my cousin asked me to calm down and drink some water, but I grabbed my stuff and I was getting ready to leave. I told my sister she was getting $0 for her dream wedding dress, then I walked out. I heard louder commotion as I walked away and my dad and cousin followed me outside trying to talk, but I asked to be left alone. My dad and I spoke and he said I was too harsh on my sister over a joke and said that I know this is how she is with her dark sense of humor. They said she's been crying after I decided to back out of helping her and said this would ruin her wedding. They want me to reconsider my decision since it might damage my relationship with my sister, but I refused. Did I overreact? See, it speaks volume that she's crying over potentially not having her dream wedding dress, but I would be crying over hurting my sister that much. I, 30 male, have footage of my brother-in-law, 50 male, entering my house while I'm gone. Thousands of dollars ended up missing. My sister, 40 female, is estranged from the family. She's a pathological liar and we've watched her abuse my mom and a string of men over the years before we cut contact about 7 years ago. Her ex-husband from that time, Phil, was a really nice guy and after their breakup, he stayed in contact and became close with my mom as they're both Portuguese and he didn't have many friends here. He would come over to fix stuff, have tea, or walk the dog. He says he has PTSD from the relationship and I believe it. He's come over sobbing many times and I've consoled him and supported him in general. Last December, about $1,500 was stolen from our home. I got a security camera facing the entrance to the house. The other day, I get an alert and I see Phil coming over. He had asked me a year ago if he could come walk the dog sometimes and I agreed. He should be able to come in the gate and grab the dog without entering the house. I see him on camera greeting the dog and then he starts rummaging through my stuff in the outdoor seating area. Okay, maybe he left something here. He goes inside for 4 minutes, then leaves without the dog. I decided to go back through the footage as we've noticed more money missing, as well as some Valium I just refilled. I have footage of him coming over 5 times from January to March 13th. Each time he comes over, he calls out to check I'm not home, disappears inside for about 4 minutes, then leaves without the dog. Without showing you the footage, I can say this is like 99% proof that he's the thief. We comb through everything and nobody else comes over. We don't have cameras inside, so no actual footage of stealing happening. But what the hell do I do? I'm planning to confront him this afternoon, but I don't know the best way to do it. He's massively built, ex-bouncer with anger issues in the past, extreme depression right now, and he can be aggressive. That said, he's always been the most perfect gentleman to my family and his angrier side may just be in the past. I'm pretty fucked up by this, not to mention a few $1,000s down. He's coming over in about 8 hours and I don't want to involve the police unless it's an extreme last resort.
I, 45 male, have stage 4 colorectal cancer, and I will be dead in 5 years.
Shoot.
My partner, 37 female, wants to have a baby with me.
Okay.
Buckle up, everyone. Sorry. Last month, I was diagnosed with stage 4 colorectal cancer. The prognosis was not good, and there have already been signs of spread to the rest of the body. I'll be dead within 5 years. The doctor said it'll most likely be sooner, given the status of the progression. We're going to try fighting it, but the chances of survival are slim, given the spread. I've been with my partner for 11 years now. We met at the library as I was was doing my master's in behavioral psychology, and she was completing her undergrad in environmental science. I still remember the first time I saw her with her finger pressed so hard against a textbook as if it was going to fly away. We've talked about kids and marriage in the past, and it wasn't something either of us were interested in. We discussed it a few times, and she always said she would prefer to backpack across Vietnam, which we did, than raise a baby. It has been such an honor to be with her. After the diagnosis, we took our separate ways of grieving. She poured into her contacts and ways to fight this. Apparently, there's some magical Australian berry I have to start taking next week. I've come to accept it, and I will contact my lawyer soon to get my affairs in order. And here is my conundrum. She approached me a few nights ago, sat me down, and told me she wants to marry me and have a child or two with me. I was, of course, blindsided. Having a wedding or a child is the least of my priorities or wants at the moment because, well, I'm dying. She was adamant if this is the last thing I do for her, let it be this. She told me that it's only at the end of things that she realizes what's important to her. She told me she wants concrete things to remember me by, and being able to see my face in our child, as well as a wedding ring, which she said she'd wear even after my secession, is what she needs. I am concerned, and I voiced my concerns, which provoked tears. I told her that she has no family here. Her only family was a mother who passed away when she was 20. I told her her career is flourishing, and she has her passion in environmental monitoring. Being a single mother will be a huge impact on her. If I was going to be alive to help her, I'd be more amenable, but I won't. The discussion didn't end well. I'm lost on what to do. On one hand, I could go through with all of it and give her the family she wants, but I know her struggle will be immense. But on another hand, if she has a child, she may not be all alone after I die. What do you think? Please give me perspective. She will get everything when I die. Our net worth combined is estimated to be 1.5 million, so she won't be in want of money.
Am I wrong for refusing to give my stepson my engagement ring because he never treated me like family? I, 49 female, have been with my husband Bill, 53 male, for the past 20 years. Bill had 2 children from his previous marriage, Jim, 31, and Paige, 27. We also have one biological child together, Harry, 16 male. Jim and Paige's mom passed away when they were 9 and 5. I met Bill around 2 years after his former wife had died. When I started building a relationship with the kids, I made it clear that I was not going to replace their mom and would be a trusted figure whom they could approach if they ever needed me. That being said, I still made an effort to treat them like I would my own child. I would take them to school, pick them up, take them to doctor's appointments, make their lunches, ask my parents to get them presents for Christmas and birthdays, etc. Both kids were somewhat hostile towards me at first, which I understand because they lost their mom. However, Paige eventually warmed up to me and saw me as a trusted, confident, and maternal figure. She didn't ask me, nor did I expect her to want me to adopt her, but she still calls me mom, which I appreciate. Jim, on the other hand, continued to be mean and hostile. I have never treated him poorly or antagonized him. Nevertheless, he would make misogynistic statements like, "It's your job as a woman to clean the dishes," when I would ask him to clean his plate, or call me a bitch when my back was turned. My husband told him many times that the way he was treating me was uncalled for and for us to go to family therapy, but he always refused. He eventually moved out, reaching adulthood. He continues to make contact with his father and siblings, but it's minimal between him and me. Even then, he doesn't treat me well. Now, I have an engagement ring that is a family heirloom for several generations. It is passed down from the mother to the oldest child. My husband got the ring from my mom to propose to me. I told all 3 children about this heirloom a few years ago. Anyway, Jim currently has a girlfriend whom he intends to propose to. He called me out of the blue one day and asked if he could have the ring. I told him no. When he asked why, I told him it was because of how he has treated me all these years and how he continues to treat me, and I don't want my family heirloom going to someone who sees me as a vermin. When he asked whom it would go to, I told him it would go to Paige when she gets engaged. When he heard this, he lost his shit and accused me of playing favorites. I eventually hung up when he wouldn't stop insulting me and blocked his number. My husband is on my side, but his maternal relatives have all been blowing up my phone, telling me what an asshole I am. So, am I?